Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to today's inspiration. Let's talk body image. Lynn, hello. So lovely to see you again and to be here again. Fantastic, Lynn. I'm so happy that you're here as well. Hello, Valerie. Hi, Valerie, to you. So everybody ready to talk about body image? Cecilia, hello to you. Are you ready to talk about body language? Are you ready? The hearts are going, so the answer is yes. Body image is fascinating. There's three categories that we all always want to improve. So everything that we desire falls within three categories. One is success, career, academia, money in your bank account, but some form of success. Volume is great, Cecilia says. Fantastic. Two is something about relationships, wanting a partner, improving relationship with family, with friends, whatever it might be. Number two. And number three, and this is not particular order, but these are the three categories, is body. It's about your relationship with your body. It's about health. It's about strength. It's about illness, acute or chronic illness. And the beauty about this body and body image, it is everywhere we go. We cannot get away from our body. It's everywhere. So the other categories, you can sort of get away and forget that what your desires are with your success, or you can forget about the relationship, but your body and your body image and your relationship, it's with you all the time. Hello, Monica. Hi to you. Hello. So let's get into it. How do you feel about your body? How do you feel? What's your relationship with your body? Because ultimately, Ray, hello to you. Hello. We are going to have a party today. Today, we are going to celebrate our physical body. Hey, Ren, he just comes in and says hello as well. Hello, Ren, to you. We are going to celebrate our physicality, our physical body. We are going to bring to the surface a strong awareness of the relationship that we hold with our body. And we're going to look for distortions. And distortions come in over or under indulgences. Overeating, undereating, over-exercising, under-exercising. And ultimately what we want to get to is like any other live stream. Alignment, honor, strength, empowerment, happiness, beauty, celebration. So let's bring it to the surface. Who's ready to play? And let's talk about our bodies. Let's bring it to the surface, not from a point of victim, but from a place of empowerment. I am willing to acknowledge the limitations I have been holding within myself, about myself, and it's time to shift. Who is ready to shift? And I see the hearts and I can see we are ready to go. Kendra, I have a complicated relationship because I was an athlete. Then meds made me gain weight and I noticed I was treated differently from people and that impacted me. Beautiful. Kendra, but today I'm feeling sexier and working on myself every day. Fantastic. So Kendra and anybody that can relate about having a body that felt good and then now recognizing that their body has changed and it doesn't feel good anymore. What is the judgment? Maybe here, Kendra, you have a before and now and after, a desired end. What is that before? What was that relationship when you were an athlete? And what did you feel? And did you take it for granted? Or did you feel that it defined you and it made you better than others? Let's sort of look at it from all the different lenses, from the egoic lens, that this I was confident and made me better decisions. And Kendra, and felt alive. Fantastic. And were you also judgmental of others? Perhaps. I'm just exploring with you, because sometimes that confidence, which is our physical, taught me to focus and determination. Fantastic, Kendra. But sometimes that confidence, which is a direct relationship with self-worth, can be overly, that we give ourselves value for the body that we have rather than value for the person that we are. And so when we lose the body, we lose the self. We want our confidence to be unconditional and not tied to the state of the physicality of our body. Does everybody catch that? And I'm going to say it again. Who wants your self-confidence to be independent of your physicality of your body? I see the hearts. Bren says, love that. I don't want to just be confident. And Kendra says, absolutely. So I'm going to say to you, Kendra, and everybody, and I've got the goosebumps already, that confidence couldn't have really been real, true confidence, because if it was, you would still be confident now, regardless. So it was conditional confidence. Conditional. And Kendra, I want this to be empowering for you. Everything I want to say today, the intention is empowering, and if it's not, let's stop me and talk about it. I'm going to read Valerie's comment, and then we're going to keep talking about this. Valerie, lately I've been to ask myself when I started viewing my body as not good enough. I think I've always been insecure about things, but puberty was a big shift. Fantastic. Fantastic. Bren says same for me, and I see my 13-year-old daughter too. Jen says hello, and hello everybody, and absolutely agree. Okay, so here's the first awareness that Kendra led us to. So Kendra, super Kendra, with her amazing awareness, led us to the recognition that I'm going to cough, that our confidence may appear to be authentic, but it's conditional. And when our conditions change, whether that's body, relationship, bank account, a career, then we lose that confidence. So then that wasn't really authentically aligned confidence. It was conditional confidence. So what we want today is to align with authentic confidence, which means authentic self-worth, unconditional self-worth. Everybody give me hearts and give me words if you were with this. If that was good and you're with me on this one, and this is your intention. Victoria, Kendra says yes, fantastic. Victoria, I started dancing ballet when I was 4. We were never taught to love our bodies, only how to criticize. Victoria, fantastic. I didn't realize the effects until I stopped dancing many years later in this devastating mindset. Fantastic, fantastic. Kendra says indeed, and Lynn says yes, good. So Victoria, do you see that it's the same thesis? If I am a dancer and I dance well and my body is strong and I can pirouette and I can lift my toe to my nose, then I am confident and I'm strong and I am worthy. And if I don't have a six-pack, or I have fat in my gut, my abdomen, or my muscles aren't strong, I am unworthy. And everybody around me is worthy only if their body is a certain shape, maybe a certain height, maybe their skin color. So body image is more than the fat. So we talk about gait weight right now. We're talking about skill set of being an athlete or being a dancer, but it's also our height. Are we worthy because of our height? My son is really into basketball, and are you better if you're a certain height and worse than if you're not a certain height? How about our skin color, our hair texture? What are the different elements of our physicality that we consciously or unconsciously are using it to under or overvalue us? You know, a lot of men, when they're losing their hair, how does that feel about their confidence? Which ultimately, confidence is a mirror for self-worth. Does everybody have that? That confidence is a mirror for self-worth. Does everybody recognize that confidence is how we are living and acting in the physical, and it's a mirror, a reflection of our self-worth, which is our egoic beliefs. Does everybody have that? And can we use this as a jumping point for everything we talk about today? Ren, I can only think about myself like that. Perfect. Others can look as they want. Beautiful, Ren. So you're not, I had been programmed to judge others, because if I'm judging myself, it's also a judgment of others. So it was a really big calibration to start to really accept everybody for as they are. So Ren, it's fantastic. It's only your self-judgment. Lynn, I saw a photo of myself of 9 years ago and I had no hips at all. But today, it is a lot different. Take some acceptance. So Lynn, hips are also fantastic. I wasn't sure if you were happy that you had limp hips now, or you were happy you didn't have hips back then. Hips are beautiful and they're powerful and they have a lot of beauty to them. I don't know how else to say it. A lot of beauty to them. And Lynn says, I'm not sure either. But what's important is it doesn't really matter. Hips, no hips. Shoulders, no shoulders. I don't know why I said shoulders. Breasts, no breasts. Muscles, no muscles. What is important is how we internally feel. Kendra's laughing. I don't know the shoulders part or what part, but it's wonderful. It's the internal alignment to our worthiness and the reflection of understanding of anything external that we are using to measure our self-worth, which then translates into confidence. Our confidence is our physical indication, calibration of how we measure our worthiness, because the physical and the confidence is how we show up in this world. So let's use our confidence not as something to criticize, not something it's a measure and an indication of our worthiness. And then we start to muscle towards unconditional worthiness. Good, good, good. Melissa, for me, my confidence is conditional, but I don't judge others. Fantastic. Much harder on myself than I am on my others. Fantastic, fantastic. So Jessie, hello Manal. So Jessie's come in. So, okay, let me ask, how do we want to feel? How do we want to feel? Or do we still want to talk about how we do feel? How we do feel. Kendra says, I love having hips. Curvy, ha ha ha. They're good for dresses and great for skirts. Very good for dresses and skirts. Okay, so how do we want to feel? How do we want to feel about our bodies? Are we not ready? Do we still want to talk about how we feel? I like jumping back and forth, but do we want to still go about how do we feel? How do we feel? What are the times and that puberty was mentioned, and this is great, Lynn. I want to feel great and happy in my body. Gladly aging and changing. Fantastic. One of the words that I hear a lot these days is age, perhaps because of where my age is. And it's a comment that I'm like, I'm not buying into this. You know, it's like, you look great for your age. I'm like, you know what? That's an insult. If anything says 4X, that's an insult. Or I'm not buying into this because I feel like I'm just like a lot of those things that age with time and aging just get better, better and better and better and better. And I'm not willing to correlate my value and my beauty with time that I can't control. I can't control the number of days and years that I'm on this earth. I can control how I feel. So one of the things that I'm not willing to adopt is a relationship that as time evolves, my self-image, my body image, it's really self-image decreases. Or at a certain point, then it's optimal, and then at a certain point it drops off. Heck no. Heck no. It's not something I can control. I can control how I feel about myself. I control how I act. I can control what I do. I control a lot of different things, but I can't control time. I can't control aging. I can't control what's happening in all of those. So these are conditional aspects that I will not allow to encumber the way that I feel about myself. Yes, no, yes or no. Everybody talk to me. Melissa, want to feel confident no matter my weight or size. Unconditional love for myself. Fantastic, Melissa. Valerie, I want to be able to accept my physical body unconditionally. But I don't really see that happening. Valerie, I'm going to reread it in a second, mainly because the constant changes we go through. So Valerie, I'm going to rewrite that, okay? I want to be able to accept myself unconditionally. And I recognize that I continue to get the opportunity to grow into this because life is change. And with this evolution, I continue to change. So I want to be a fine Valerie, that as age, I start to become more wise and understanding and become more evolved into the beauty of who I am. So Valerie, in your description, there was a lack of control because of change and the uncertainty of change. Why can't we embrace it? Who wants to embrace change? Who wants to embrace time? Who wants to embrace wisdom? Who wants to embrace life? Who wants to embrace what is the natural unfolding and evolution of life? I see the heart saying yes, and Kendra says yes, and Valerie says yes, much better. Haha, but the honest changes scares me. Valerie, fantastic. This is the medium for us to talk about it. And then we reframe it. This is exactly where you're meant to say, I'm scared of change. And then we all say, oh, we all are. And then we say, well, how do we reframe it? How do we reframe it? So everybody, how do we reframe time and change? How do you want to, not with efforting, not with affirmations that you don't believe, but with truth? How do we reframe time? That's my question. That's my question. Okay. See, want to feel accepting and nurturing towards my body instead of how I spent a lifetime criticizing, attacking with bad, unhealthy habits and thoughts. Okay, I'm going to just say accepting and nurturing towards my body. Victoria, I want to be happy with my body just because it feels healthy and good, not for how it looks. Fantastic. Kendra, I've never been superficial, but I appreciate myself more when I'm fit. I love understanding unconditional confidence no matter what size I am. Okay, so how about this? This is what I'm hearing. We all want to feel fantastic. And today is about body image, so we're going to keep talking about body. But we keep saying in our body, but we want to just feel fantastic. And how do we feel fantastic? We feel fantastic by honoring not just the physical body, but the emotional body, the mental body, the egoic body, and using all four of them to dance and get into alignment. So how about an awareness that collectively we want to feel good? Just to feel good. I want to feel good just to feel good. I want to feel good just to feel good. And that means loving my physical body. That means embracing my emotional body. That means adoring my mental body. And that means aligning with my egoic body. All four bodies have a role in helping me feel aligned and good. How does that feel? And now I want to talk about time and change, because all of us, no matter where we are, and actually I think I missed Ray's comment here that says, I look good for my age, and I'm winking and laughing with you over there, Ray. All of us, no matter our age, no matter our sex, no matter our sexual orientation, no matter what, all of us have changes that occur that change our physical body. Some of it by choice, when you get married, and then when you go to college, puberty, having a baby, menopause, premenopause, going through any health, something that ends up changing the way that your activity level. What else changes occur naturally and unnaturally in life that ultimately changes our body? What is it that we can control? What is it that we don't control? See, and especially now, because I have a new diagnosis that will require me to have surgery and treatment on the body parts that make me feel most feminine. See, fantastic. Today we're going to make that unconditional and allowing and empowered. And you said I need to learn to radically accept and love my new changing body on my healing journey. And I like the word healing, and I don't like the word healing. For those of you that follow me a lot know that that word healing is a word that means something that isn't whole. So I know that we are healing, and I know in this particular instance there is healing because you're going through surgery, but I don't like to use that word and lens of healing because it means that we're perpetually not whole. And us not seeing ourselves as whole then distorts our wholeness. I was looking for the word, but I decided wholeness was the word to use. So does everybody hear what I'm saying about the word healing? If the word healing is the best that we've got, fantastic. If it isn't, and we can go before even further and see ourselves as whole, I prefer not to use the word healing. So what we're always going to do is calibrate to better. What we can get to better, to better, to better, to better. Okay? Okay? Okay. Kendra, this is how we make our decisions towards the goal of good. I've been so hard on myself. No more. Totally not. Self-care and love for myself. Fantastic. So that, Kendra, are affirmations towards worthiness, that I am unconditionally worthy. Everybody that knows me and follows, what's the premise? The number one premise is we are unconditionally worthy. And here as human beings that we all are, unless there's some dogs and cats that are on this live today, all of us as human beings, it's our journey. It's our life journey to calibrate to our unconditional worthiness, freedom, and happiness. That's what we're here for as humans on our human journey, the unconditional three. And our body has to do with all of them: worthiness, freedom, and self-love. So yes, Kendra, yes, we are going to start to recognize this is our amazing journey. We get to love ourselves and journey towards happiness and strength and power and empowerment and care and love and freedom and acceptance and allowing. And we'll do it together. Jesse, where do we start? It's very challenging to break the deep programming that corporations have thrown at us through advertisements and body imaging. Jesse, fabulous. Okay, so Jesse, that's a fantastic question. So how do we start? We start, you know. So Jesse, everything I'm going to say, you're going to know, but it doesn't matter because you asked the question, so I get to answer it. We start with awareness. Everything that we're talking about today is we're bringing it front and center to awareness. Oh, I've been conditioned to, if my body is strong and athletic and dancing, then I'm worthy. And then if I gain weight on my hips, I'm unworthy. Oh, interesting. Conditioning, where did it come from? Jesse, you started to say it came from conditioning. It came from society. It came from corporations. It came from our mom and dad. It came from our siblings. It came from being teased. It came from being bullied. It came from TV. It came from social media. It came from our friends. It came from us looking in the mirror. It came from us looking at animals. It came from life. So do we want to fight where it came from or honor that, oh, it came from life? This is just natural. And one of my favorite things is to say, it's natural, it's normal. It's part of the human design and the human evolution. It's part of the beauty of being a human, to decouple from the external programming and to align with the internal. So Jesse, where do we start? We start now. But no, we didn't start now. Jesse, you're so spiritual. You've been on this journey for a long time. Right now, today, we have all collectively decided to meet and talk about body image. Talk about something that's difficult to talk about. Talk about the weight on my thighs and I always talk about my thighs. So clearly for me, there's something. Don't you guys notice I always talk about my thighs? We talk about the thighs and talk about the weight in the abdomen and talk about the messages that we get that say we're not good enough. And then we affirm, no, those are lies. This is what truth is. Okay, Ray is saying all these jokes. Apparently, if we drink beer, we'll be youthful, energetic, and sociable. Yes, until we're not. Kendra is laughing. Ray says, my TV says so it must be true. Exactly. Beautiful. So we start to recognize untruths that we may have picked up at times. Okay, let me see. Jesse, did I answer your question? Martin says we're evolving. We are evolving beings. I love it. C, have not heard that thought before. Can you explain one more time if possible? C, about not using the word healing. Okay, so healing, in one of the live streams, we looked up what healing is. And if somebody wants to put it in the window, go ahead. Healing means trying to become whole, or there was an essence about healing, of moving towards wholeness, or somebody put in what the definition of healing is. And there's a whole bunch. Usually I pick and look at the one that really hit the process of, thank you, Valerie, the process of making or becoming sound or healthy again. Fantastic. So, but the other definition was being whole or sound. What if we're unconditionally, I don't like the word healthy, but that we're unconditionally whole, we're unconditionally healthy. We are, our bodies are a miracle. The term of healing, if we overuse it, okay, there's a certain circumstance where see that you are in surgery and there is physical healing coming from your surgery, but I'm mostly referring it to when we're talking about as a spiritual being that we're on this perpetual journey of healing, because when are we ever whole? Does that make sense or does that not make sense? And did I get to what you're looking for? So ultimately, the essence is I want to say that we are whole now. And we don't need to wait to get to wholeness, regardless of our beliefs or misbeliefs. That's my essence with healing. In the case that you used it in a place that you're going for surgery and you're going to have to heal. So it was used in a way that is true of your physical journey, but I like to always mention the word healing because I think it's used or overused for us not to be whole. Is that good? Does that resonate? And is that fair? That's fair. Kendra, I just danced for an hour and I'm having spiked sparkling water instead. Fantastic, fantastic. Kendra and Nintendo Switch just danced, so fun, fantastic. Jesse, I guess it's so, is this Jesse? Jesse, I guess it's so challenging to dig deep to those subconscious programs that we're not even aware of that show up. Okay, so Jesse, that's a good one. And I know, Gary, that you have a comment up there that I want to read as well. But Jesse, okay, so there's a few things that I've been working to reprogram in myself lately. And my body image is one that and my relationship with food and a lot of things that have to do with body image is things that I have worked to reprogram. So this is the process for reprogramming, okay? Let's do this together with fun. The first is, Jesse, I'm gonna pick on you. It's reframing it. It's not so challenging. It's one of the life journey, like it's the skills that we're developing. It's our journey to wholeness and unconditional freedom and worthiness and love. It's what we get to do to be the best humans possible, because all of us here are self-aware and we are here because we recognize by going in, we get strong. We recognize by going in, we become powerful. We recognize that we have the power to steer the direction of our life. So the first thing is, it's life. It's not challenging. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's not, I can't do it. It's a really fun game of awareness that I get to do. This is one that's like, ooh, here's a fun one that I get to reprogram that has been so instilled and it's so sensitive, but here's a good one that I get to do, So Jesse, can you see the fun that you start to recognize because we are spiritual junkies? I don't know if that's a good word. Who likes that term? That we're like growth junkies, that we're really attracted to self-growth and feeling good, that anything in the way, rather than seeing it as an obstacle or challenging, we see it as an opportunity for growth. We're peak performers. One of the words that I adopted for myself is peak performance, and looking at a lot of things for peak performance. So this is what I get to do to guide me to the peak performance that I'm looking for, peak performance in life, peak performance in feeling good, peak performance in accepting myself, peak performance in alignment with truth. Okay, I see the hearts, so it's resonating. Okay, so step one is the way that we're going to frame it, that we get to do this, and we're lucky to do this, and it's amazing to do this, and life is just fantastic. Okay, step two is we start to become aware of how we feel. So it's not about the physical body. The physical body is the physical. Yes, we want to feel good in our physical body, but the the body that's actually delivering the messages that help us feel good or not good is the emotional body. So everything that we're talking about when we feel bad is the emotional body. Yes, our physical bodies feel tired and feel sore and are hurt and are in pain, right? Our physical bodies do have, but it's our emotional bodies, the judgment, the shame, the anger, the frustration, the tired as an emotion. It's the emotional body that isn't feeling good or bad. That's judging, or it's mental body that's judging the physical body. But so you can start to see how all four bodies are involved in it. How all four bodies are involved in it. And it's the emotional body that's the one that's guiding us. So right now, let's look at the feeling of it's so challenging. And that, what does that feel like? It feels overwhelming, right? What does something so challenging? It feels overwhelming, feels bigger than me. It feels like I can't do it. It feels like I'm incapable. And then I'm going to keep going, Jessie, okay? And then we have to dig down to those subconscious. So what does it mean if something's subconscious? It means it's so hidden, I can't even see it. I'm not even aware of it. But if I'm not aware of it, then it doesn't really exist. So it's the ability to start to become aware of it when it starts showing up. So how does it start showing up? How does it start? How does what, Jessie, you described, I want everybody, how does it start showing up, this subconscious programming that isn't that subconscious? How does it start showing up? Kendra, I define sexiness coming from someone's aura or attitude, but with myself, I'm not that accepting from conditioning, reframing now. Yes, we're working on that right now, Kendra. This is fantastic. So everybody, how does it start to show up? Jessie, tell me. So how does it start to show up when we're just projections on others? Kaylee, fantastic. Projections on others. And how do we project on others? How do we project on others? Comparison, fantastic. They're good, I'm not. I can't look in the mirror often, fantastic. Self-hate, can I call that self-hate, Kendra? So not even willing to acknowledge. Judgments, fantastic. So it shows up as judgments, fantastic. So we start to see it. So right now, let's pick one. Projections on others, which I'd love, Kaylee, for you to, judgments. Okay, so right now, we're living life happily. We're out in the park, okay? We're out in the park, we're walking. Then all of a sudden, look at somebody. And when we look at somebody, there's a feeling that all of a sudden a judgment of myself of not being good enough. So what do we want to do with this? What is it that we do with it? What is it that we do with it? How do we start to, as Jessie said, how do we start to reprogram? How do we start to take it and start to shift it? How do we start to be empowered to start to look at those subconscious things when they come up, when we're least expecting it, and then shift it and then move it to empowering? Notice, yes, Valerie, notice it. So okay. So everybody, yes, first notice something. So everybody just welcome into your mind something that you judge or you're projecting onto somebody else, or you're judging yourself as not good. Pick anything. Pick anything from now, like we were talking about, that we started about the dancing, being an athlete, being the hips, being thighs, being whatever. Think of something as just not being good enough. Okay, so I'm going to assume that everybody's picked something. And if you can't pick something, then judge yourself for not being able to think of something. How's that? If you can't think of something, judge yourself that you can't even think of something. Okay, so I made myself laugh. I hope you're all laughing. Okay, now I want you just to become aware of the physical sensation. Everybody tell me where you're feeling it physically. I can start. I'm feeling really strong in my chest. Very, very strong feeling in the chest. I want everybody to write where you're feeling it. Valerie, chest for 2 for me. Fantastic. Where else? When I start to become stomach. Fantastic. Heart. ET says heart. C says stomach. Lynn says shoulders. Fantastic. Manal says jaw. Jaw. Everybody that knows me, I've carried all in my jaw. This desire to be perfect. This need to be, compulsion to be perfect is all in my jaw. It's almost like I'm like manicured into this perfection or something. Ooh, my too. Okay, ET says me too. Fantastic. Okay, so the jaw. Okay, the head. Sometimes I feel like the blood flows. Anna, the throat, fantastic. Jane, hello everybody. Manal, solar plexus for me, fantastic. So the abdomen. Valerie, my face, fantastic. Me too. Oh my God, get me in a place of judgment. And it's almost like the energy just stops and doesn't flow through, and it's just all built up into my face, and like there's all this energy blocked into my face. Okay, E.T., I hate that. Me too. I hate it so much too, but I'm starting to become more aware of it. And so now, can you notice if we start to go into the physical sensations, it takes us away from the judgment of it. Now we get to look into the physical sensations. Now we get to feel the physicality of it, the chest, the jaw, the face, and what does it do? It immediately takes my focus from the judgment, maybe the self-hate, the self-deprecation, whatever it might be, and it goes into the physical. So what does that do? I've just taken my focus and I move it from my mental body to my physical body. To my physical body, which is really, really powerful because you don't continue to egg on the thoughts. It's the thoughts that created this physical reaction. Sometimes the physical reaction creates the thoughts, but right now we're going to assume that the thoughts created the physical reaction. So now we move from our thoughts to our physical body. So these thoughts don't have a way to keep growing because we're thinking about our physical sensations. Does that feel good too? Yes, it makes, I feel my stretch marks itch. Fantastic. Oh my God, Mary Alice, that's so cute. Okay, so fantastic. So does everybody see the power of shifting to the physical awareness, because it stops the mind from becoming active on those judgmental thoughts? Okay, I see the hearts going, so I'm going to assume that's all yes, 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 yes. Now I want everybody, so we're aware of the physical. So assuming that we're so fully aware of the physical and our mind isn't now going on judgment mode or I'm not good enough mode and I couldn't even think of something to judge myself on mode, but it's looking at the physicality. So now let's go to the emotional body. Okay, this is where the power is. This is where the power is. Now let's look at the emotions. How do we feel? Okay, we just talked about all these physical sensations. How do we emotionally feel? I'm going to start with embarrassed, ashamed, out of control. Valerie, guilty. Fantastic. Guilty. Ashamed. Did I say ashamed? Did I say ashamed? Defeated. Mary Alice. Fantastic. Valerie, shame as well. Beautiful. Okay, what else? What else? Did I say out of control? Tense. Fantastic, Haley. Unbalanced. Kendra. Beautiful. Beautiful. E.T., this is hard to name why. Fantastic. E.T., just go in and feel, and I want you to feel the emotions. And if it's hard to feel the emotions, this is an indication of where you could start to build your muscle because you're not maybe being open to what your emotional body is saying. Valerie, anger, beautiful. Daisy, what was the question? We're now moving, Daisy, out of the physical sensation into the emotions. What are the emotions that you're feeling? Lynn says unworthy, not good enough. Fantastic, fantastic. Anna says, and Lynn, some of those are actually egoic beliefs, but that's okay. I'm going to hold on to them because unworthy is making us feel ashamed, maybe sad, maybe angry. And not good enough is a mindset. So that's your mental body, which is fine. But I just want you to be aware that those aren't emotions, and I'd love emotions. Anna, frustrated. Fantastic. Gary, unworthy. Again, which I said to Lynn, those are egoic beliefs, which is fantastic. What's the feeling of unworthy? What's the emotion when you feel unworthy? Who knows what that is? Is it a feeling of unworthy, or is it a belief? They can be both, actually. They can be both. Tell me what it is. Everybody help me with that. Valerie, afraid. Fantastic. E.T. says, yep. So it's interesting. Fantastic, E.C. Try to see if any of these emotions are resonating with you, because I can see right now, E.T., this is where your opportunity for real quick growth is by really understanding your emotions. Jesse, self-conscious. Beautiful, which I think is a mental. Let's see what those feelings are, but you're conscious, you're looking at yourself and you're self-conscious. Ray, cheated. Ray, that's really interesting, that cheated. If you want to dig deeper, we can look into that, what that means. See, yep, they're a challenge to identify. So see that's giving you, if you can't identify your emotions, that's a huge clue that you're closing your emotional body, and it's an opportunity for us to grow. June is actually going to be emotion month. I think. I think May is all about bodies and all about the physical body. And June, I believe, it might be June or July. I'll let you guys know that for sure. Daisy, stuffy and clogged grief. Beautiful, Daisy, stuffy and clogged grief. That means that you're not acknowledging it. We want to start to let that out. Joanna, uncomfortable, angry, and sad. Beautiful, beautiful. Lynn, sad, beautiful. E.T., sadness, I would say. Fantastic, E.T. You don't want to suppress any of your emotions, but we don't want to suppress our sadness. Beautiful, beautiful. Because when we suppress our emotions, we go to coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms can take many different forms, but they end up being unhealthy for you. So we don't want to suppress our emotions. So ET, I want us to continue to work on building up your capacity to quickly understand your emotional body just as well as your physical body. Gary, unwanted and unneeded. Gary, fantastic. Almost like you're dispensable, you're worthless, which that's beautiful, beautiful, which is again going to the egoic body. And I want to see what are those emotions. They are emotions. I know I can feel unwanted, which makes me feel sad and depressed and alone. And so fantastic, Gary. Go deeper into emotions. Anna, lack of self-love. So sadness and just detached from happiness and love. Fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful. Cheryl, less than. Beautiful. C, yes, definite opportunity for growth I'm realizing lately. Wonderful, wonderful. Jen, lonely. Wonderful, wonderful. So do you see that judgment that we had? So we started off on judgment, and I don't know, everybody has what their judgment that they picked up on. Do you see how we could start to see that they're showing suppressed physical sensations and suppressed emotional reactions? And that judgment may have made me lash out on myself. Lash out at somebody, project onto my somebody that's with me or a stranger. But actually, when we dig deep into it, there's these feelings of unworthiness and loneliness and not being good enough and sadness and anger and grief and all of the suppressed emotion. So Jesse, your question is, how do we do this? We start to recognize the strength of these judgments and these thoughts in releasing repressed emotions, which are showing up in our lives in so many different ways. How is that? Gary, unneeded makes you doubt your purpose and connection. Fantastic, Gary, fantastic. And then you're still up here in your egoic body, which is fantastic. But what am I here for? Is it sad, Gary? Is it sad? It doesn't sound like angry. It almost feels like hopeless. Is it hopeless, Gary? Kendra, I encourage all to commit to telling ourselves we are beautiful every day and we are lovely and we are savvy souls. Kendra, fantastic. And I also encourage everybody to acknowledge anything that does not feel like what Kendra just said. So you could take the fears out. You take the whoever's hiding in the closet, you take all the demons out and you look them in the eye and then you say, I don't buy that. So don't just tell yourselves you're beautiful without hearing that voice and say, I hear that voice that doubts it. I see you. I see you sadness. I see you anger. I see you suppressed fear. I see you loneliness. I see you feeling of unworthiness. And I honor what you're here to tell me. But the truth is of my full worthiness, of my beauty, of the love that I am, of the savvy soul that I am. So I don't want anybody to affirm or effort if there is any resistance, because what we want to do is see the resistance for what it is until it's no longer resistance. Jesse, I'm just taking a pen, writing stuff that's coming up while you're asking these questions. Jesse, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Jen says rejected and everybody, fantastic. Gary, you wrote a comment up there that I know that I wanted to go back to. Let me see. Kaylee, compassion and acceptance for those dark parts so they can be integrated. Beautiful. And Kaylee, I'm going to say compassion, acceptance for those dark parts so they can turn light. It's like, when you put the light on the dark, it becomes light. And then it's not dark because you're acknowledging it. What makes it dark is your unwillingness to acknowledge it. So once you acknowledge it, it becomes light. And then now it's power. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, I think the only thing I haven't read was one of Gary's, I think a comment. Is there anything else other than Gary's comment that I'm trying to scroll back to that I haven't read? Gary, can you put it back in the window or is it mute? Is it over now? That's my question, because as I try to scroll, I can't seem to be going back to it. So Gary, put what you put in the window if you know what it is, or if you feel like it's addressed, then it's been addressed. But I think I only had one other comment I hadn't read. If there was anything else, put it in the window, please. Everybody, please. Kendra, I have a visual for that. I visualize white light extinguishing the dark. Fantastic. Okay, Kendra, let's do it. Gary, yes, Jen, rejection sucks, but being afraid to try it all is worse. Beautiful. And Gary, if whatever you wrote in the window before that, say that. Okay, let's try Kendra's right now. Everybody go to a part of your body image that right now we're going to use the term dark, but later on we won't even call it dark because nothing is dark. Everything is just an awareness that's ready for it to be aware. But everybody go to something that you have judgment, something that feels unworthy, something that feels rejected, all of the things that we just talked about. So go to that. Some of it might have shifted by us just bringing attention to it, because when you talk it and you feel it, it shifts. But everybody bring some story that doesn't feel good to your attention. Okay. Now, let's do the same thing. Look at what it physically feels like. Okay. Wow, a lot of resistance in my body. Okay. Now, the emotion. Fantastic. Now, the desire. Okay, no. Now, okay, the thought is what brought it into your mind. So the thought, you already brought the judgment in. So now you looked at that physical sensation with the emotional sensation. And now let's go to your egoic belief. What is your desire? So let me give an example. Some of the things that we said that we feel unworthy, then the desire is that we want to feel worthy. If we felt rejected, we want to feel, again, worthy. If we feel angry or detached from love, we actually want to feel love and happiness. If we feel out of control, we want to feel freedom. So now sort of ask yourself, what is this darkness that we're calling guiding me to what is desired? So if this resistance, this judgment, this set of physical, emotional, and mental expressions are directing me, what is it directing me to? Okay, I got mine. Mine is just, I want to be loved, which actually means that I just want to be love. Because wanting to be loved is actually just the desire for being love. So does everybody got theirs? Did everybody feel? Now let's do what Kendra suggested and just visualize white light going through your physical body. your emotional body, your mental body. And imagine that white light giving you what that desired state is. So your worthiness, your love, your freedom, your care, self-care, your beauty, just that natural beauty. Not this external beauty, but this internal beauty of radiance and light and allowing and flow. The celebration of the truth of who you are. Just imagine that light just warming you up. If as you shine that light on your bodies and you see more resistance, just go into that resistance and just peekaboo. What are you here for? What are you here to teach me? What am I meant to learn? How am I here to grow? Shine light on it. Gives a glow in my body. Feel happy and good. Wow, thank you. Going to practice this a lot. Beautiful, beautiful. Gary, I said that my issues have never been my body issues because I've always kept myself in pretty good shape, but my problem has been a lack of want or need from others. So Gary, yours is just the relationship. I don't know if you were here in the very beginning when I said that everything comes in three. Our human desires are one of three. It's either falls under success, career, bank account, academia, some form of success. 2, it's relationships with or without other people, like a partner, family, friends, whatever it might be. And 3 is body. So what you're saying is, for me, it really is that you're looking for the external validation, not from your body, because your body is giving it to you and you've always had a good relationship, but from the relationships with others. And it's a beautiful opportunity to grow and calibrate to your internal self rather than the external. But the relationships are an amazing, beautiful part of our life journey. And I know that you have an amazing relationship with your children. So what I would do if I was you is I would use my relationship with my children. And I think you have a lot of friends too, if I remember correctly. I think you're really talking about mostly a partner, because I think you have really solid relationships. I would focus on all the solid relationships that I do have. And I would use that as a way to calibrate with the positive relationship that I have with myself. And by focusing on the relationships that you have with others that are fantastically solid, your kids and your friends, and then you focus on the relationship that you have with yourself and your desire for growth and expansion and learning, and take the see. I'm not telling you not to see the lack of want or need from others, so that relationship one. I'm not asking you to see it, but I'm asking you to actually say to yourself, oh, I do have what I think I have. I'm just defining it more. I was defining it more specifically, and now I'm being more broad about how I see that I actually have it. Then you'll start to see it coming to you in different ways. Is that clear? I don't want you to try to trick yourself into thinking you have what you want, but I want you to recognize that if you broaden the definition of what you want, you'll recognize that you have it, and then you'll attract actually what you really want. Did that make sense? Because I know there was a lot of convoluted parts about that. I think from the hearts that makes sense. Daisy, strength to hold the connection and love. Strength to hold the connection and love. And the strength to hold the connection and love with self. With myself. Gary, fantastic. You have amazing relationships. I know you do. We've talked about it and you've shared it on lives. You're focusing on the wrong relationship to say that I don't have one. Focus on the ones that you do have. You have a lot of beautiful relationships. And that's the truth about our body too. We're focusing on the elements of the body that we don't like. There's a lot of body. There is a lot of our body. And I don't mean size. I mean, we've got our heads, we got our hair, we got our eyes, we got our nose, we got our mouths, we got our ears, we've got our faces, we got our throats, we got our shoulders, we've got our chest. Do I have to keep listing it? And we have all our internal stuff that I haven't even, we've got all our organs, we've got all our brains, we've got all. So of your body, what percentage would you say of your body do you dislike versus you like? And how much percentage of the time are you giving to the body part that might not align with you more than the one that does? And I would bet you there's a distortion with the amount of time that you're focusing on the elements that might be bothering you rather than celebrating the parts that are fantastic and aligned and functioning and feeling good. I'm getting the hearts. So a lot of it is focus. So Jesse said, how do you do it? Step one is awareness, and we do not want to negate what we actually feel. But once we become aware of it, we don't want to indulge in it. We want to be strong enough to focus our mind on the things and the elements and the truths that make us feel good. So again, this is another one that's a paradox where we need to become aware. But that's why I always say, don't overindulge in it. Act like an explorer. Be like an investigator. Be someone that's curious about it. Look at it from the lens of curiosity and, oh, wow, without indulging in it, because that awareness is the power. And then be strong to focus on the elements that feel good. And it's with that focus that ultimately allows you to let go of what you were aware of that didn't feel good. So that C says, wow, that was accurate. Fantastic. So does that make sense? Does that make sense? Is that good? Is that good? I've got a little dance in me coming up. Okay. So how does everybody feel now? What are we all aware of with respect to our bodies and how we feel about ourselves? Have we made the shift that we were looking for? Are you feeling better about yourself, your body, your life than when you entered? That's my question. What are you all aware of? C says yes, yes, yes. And I think that's yes. I am feeling more empowered, accepting. I'm saying the words, put them in the windows. Empowered, accepting, allowing, loving, honoring. Come on, what else are you feeling about your body? Carefree, strong, purposeful, happy. Oh, Mary Alice, this is your word. Playful, playful. This is all fun and play. Valerie, I didn't necessarily feel a shift, but I'm aware that my focus is distorted. I have a lot to be grateful about. Valerie, then tell me where do you feel the resistance? Let's get you that shift, Valerie. Daisy, present. Fantastic one, Daisy. That's beautiful. Kendra, empowered. Empowered. Valerie, where do you think, and I think I'm pointing to the answer, where do you think your resistance is? Am I pointing to the answer? Valerie, where do you think that it is? Do you think you're trying to control? My resistance is I can't accept my body. Yes, I think mental. Okay, fantastic. So what I want you to do, and I want everybody to do this right now, okay? So Valerie, I think that there's a lot of control and judgment that you have on yourself. Is this true? Yes. Okay, fantastic. So what I want you right now is to, everybody enter your mental body, okay? This is going to be fun. Enter your mental body. And I want you to sort of look at judgment and control. And give me a visual of what it feels like. if you can visualize the judgment and control in your mind, what do you see on your mind? Like for example, I see a vice sort of like holding my brain, sort of like the same tension that I see that the jaws just like got to be locked into this perfection. Sort of see the same thing in my brain, like not allowing it, not being free. Everybody if you sort of see judgment and control visually in your brain, what do you see? Beautiful. Valerie, for some reason I see myself choked up. I can't breathe. Fantastic. And Valerie, what's keeping you from breathing? And is it around your throat or is it your brain or where is it? This is what I want you to see. C, more accepting. I now realize that what I notice, awareness doesn't indulge. Beautiful. C, remembering the proportion of my body I accept the part I'm having difficulty with. Fantastic. Okay, Valerie sits around her throat. Interesting, because I thought it was your mind and it's really your ability to speak your truth. So what's choking you, Valerie, as I put my two hands around my throat because I'm feeling choked now? What's choking you? Can you see a visual of what's choking you? What's choking you? I feel I can speak my truth. Fantastic. Now, Valerie, what's in the way of you speaking your truth? And everybody that's feeling something or seeing something, tell me and write it in the window because this is fascinating. Valerie, what's keeping you from speaking your truth? What's keeping you? Something I have not in control, like not me really choking myself, maybe external. Fantastic. Valerie, what do you see? Is it hands, like I had put it? Do you see it as a rope? Do you see it as energy? What is it that's blocking you from your truth? I think it's energy, not really anything. Okay, fantastic. We're going to use that same tool that Kendra had suggested. Okay, let me ask you think like dark smoke. Okay, Valerie. Now, I'm going to ask you, Valerie, is there a certain way that you can get that dark smoke to go away so you can speak your truth? Is there, when I ask you something, is there something, that's a good question. Fantastic. I like good questions. Maybe self-protection, that Valerie says, Jen. So Valerie, what do you think that you can have that will let that dark smoke go? That could be true. What do you think that could be, Valerie? What do you think that if you had a tool in your tool belt, could you invite to let that go away? Okay, Valerie, I'm going to invite the white light. See if you let that white light, that light that we've talked about, that rainbow light, any color light, and just sort of see it, like recognize that there's something that's keeping you from your truth, something external, and invite the white light to see it and to let you know if there's anything specific that you're meant to grow from it. Ask if there's something that you could grow from where you're supposed to grow and see whether that can remove it. But I think it's very fantastic that you know it's the dark smoke. And I know that you can. I know that you can. So try that, Valerie. Gary, Manal, would it necessarily have to be blocking her truth? Gary, yes. Valerie's saying that there's something that's keeping her from her truth. And when I asked what it was visualized, it's to me, that dark smoke means that the light's not flowing. So when you're not allowing that light to flow, then your truth is going to be suppressed. There's going to be something that's blocking it. It's almost like your pipes are clogged, and Valerie's visualizing it as smoke, dark smoke. So for me, if that was me that visualized that, I would just imagine light sort of flowing and seeing if I can move it till I can move that out and imagine it going out from the crown of my head. Or just coming out, and just imagine light coming in and it just going out in different ways. Valerie, let us know how that works. Daisy, I see my dad, cynical eyes, lethargic breath, anxiety and sadness. This is the grief that I'm experiencing. grief over what has been, grief over feeling better. And this grief wants me to acknowledge the sadness that once was in me, not too long ago. That's in my lineage. Daisy, that is fantastically, amazingly beautiful, and I've got goosebumps all over. And where did you see it? Did you see it in your brain when I was inviting to look into your brain, the control and the resistance, or did you just see it visually? And did you meet the grief and acknowledge it and love it? And did you allow it to let it go and release it? Valerie, I feel like the light can't get to my mental because it's a mess over there, very overwhelming, a lot of judgment that I cannot see. Valerie, what is it that can? So I know that there's a lot of can'ts in there, but I want you to take a deep breath in, okay? A deep breath in. And I'm going to invite for you to have a sense of strong empowerment over your being, over you. So one of the things that you said is that it's not you and it's something else. So I want you to take a deep breath in. And with that deep breath, I want you to breathe in empowerment and release anything that's keeping you from feeling disempowered. I want you to take another deep breath in, and I want you to recognize again that there's limitations that you feel, but right now you're going to be aligned with the truth. And you take a deep breath in and release anything that's keeping you from being aligned with your truth. And I want to take another deep breath in. And there's a deep breath in of white light that's going to go through, starting at the soles of your feet, through your calves. The light's going through your knees, through your thighs, through your abdomen, through your chest, through your throat, through your head, and out the crown of your head. Now I want you to see if you can align with your self-empowerment, and I want you to see what you can do to release the resistance of judgment. Okay, that's my question for you, Valerie. And again, get yourself calibrated to the higher Valerie, to the egoic body, to the truth, and then come from the truth, not from physical Valerie, but from egoic Valerie. Tell me what you're coming up with. Jesse, I agree with Manal. The use of dark smoke and perhaps choking our emotions from feeling or self-expression. Beautiful, Jesse. Daisy, yes, when you asked, I felt like a sense of knowing and a part of me. Beautiful, Daisy, beautiful. And that ultimately, whether your dad is in there's imprints or there's emotional, even with Valerie, whether it really is dark smoke or not dark smoke, there is emotional imprints that we have that are representative of the resistance, the sadness, the pain, the suffering, the struggle that we've had in the life. And it can come out in different ways. So Valerie seeing it as being choked in dark smoke. Daisy, you saw it as your father and that he was never able to be happy and his anxiety and his sadness. And it doesn't matter how our bodies present it. It's an opportunity for us to align again with truth and beauty. Does that make sense? What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if this is true or not true. It is representation of vibrational stories that exist in our bodies. And what we want to do is honor our creative expression, our feeling of it, however it wants to come out, and recognize that there is truth to what it's saying overall. Okay, Valerie, I feel connected to light. It's almost like my soul. I've been a little disconnected with my soul, my truth. Fantastic. And then when you connect with that light, Valerie, just ask your light and ask your soul, how do you let go of that, allow your mental body and release that feeling of control and judgment and let go of that's keeping you from speaking your truth. Okay, so just sort of connect with your light, Valerie, connect with your truth. And everybody do the same thing. Everybody, this is an opportunity that we get to learn from each other of connecting with our truth and allowing our truth to guide us to the light. How does that feel? Valerie, I feel like my soul, the light, is formless. It's almost telling me that nothing is everything. When I go, there is like nothing matters. Physical is nothing. It doesn't change anything, if that makes sense. Valerie, that makes lots of sense. What it's telling you is that you're stuck in, I can't say better than control. You're stuck in trying to force the physical to conform to the way that you feel that society is expecting it. But that's all an illusion, because life is just beauty. And what you're defining as nothingness and allowing and light. Does that feel like it resonates, Valerie? So what it's telling me, it's telling you, is just to let go. Good. This makes me feel really emotional. Fantastic. There's the control you're holding on to, and your soul is telling you that there's nothing to hold on to, that it's all an illusion. Can you feel the power? Oh my God, I got goosebumps all over my body. Valerie, your soul is telling you, it all makes sense. Okay, so can you let it go? With that emotion, can you honor that emotion and let it go? Can you use it as a conduit for release? Recognize that this was the way that it was allowing you to release. Daisy, it says, grieve over your lineage. Feel the pain your ancestors weren't able to grieve. Grieve so it leaves your body. Daisy, that's absolutely beautiful. And you bring in a lot of the conditioning that we all go through is beyond the visual that we see. The conditioning that we go through is a lot to do with genetics and our families and our ancestors. So when we get caught up in our now, in the physicality of our life, to honor the greater meaning of life and that we don't see, and just sort of honor the evolution, the evolving. I don't know if that made sense, but it made a beautiful sense to me. Jen, we need a joke to lighten the mood, and Jen gave a joke. I'm just laughing. Valerie, I feel empowered when I see my truth. It's reassuring. Fantastic. So now this is the question that made us enter this. Does everybody feel more empowered about your body and about yourself than when you started? So everybody, I think I was getting mostly thumbs up, except for Valerie. So Valerie, do you feel empowered now? And you, even more than feeling empowered now, do you have the tools that you need to connect with the beauty of your empowerment? Do you have the tools that you need to connect with truth? Do you have the tools that when you feel that resistance, that you know, all I need to take is a few deep breaths and a recognition that everything I'm feeling and taking serious is actually nothingness, an illusion. Yes, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so how is everybody feeling? Gary wanted the room to be lighter. Let's actually lighten the room. Want everybody just imagine the light just coming in and just cleansing, and let the light come in from the crown of your head, and just letting this light, this universal light, this light of love and worthiness, this light of beauty, this light of love, this light of freedom, this light of allowing, this light of celebration, this light of empowerment, of strength, of the beauty of life, of the truth of life, of authenticity, this light of truth to enter through the crown of your head and just bathe your head. Bathe your third eye, your eyes, your nasal cavity, just your face and your jaw. Allow this light to come in through your throat and into your chest, and just anchor into your heart. Now imagine the light from the core of the earth coming in. And let that light come in through the soles of your feet, through your calves, your knees, your thighs, your pelvic area, your abdomen, your chest, and just anchor. Now imagine this light meeting that universal divine light, just exploding in your chest and just lighting up every area of your body. Imagine this light affirming the truth of your beauty, your health, your strength, your power, your flow, your acceptance, your happiness, your perfection for being you. Unconditional to the external. The beauty of you, the internal you, the light you that Valerie connected with, the soul you, the truth you. Beautiful. Valerie, illusion is such a good word for all of this, for control. I love it. Jen, totally no overindulging, just awareness and appreciation of my journey. Fantastic. Fantastic. So how's everybody feeling? How's everybody feeling? How's everybody feeling? How does everybody feel about your body? Valerie, I feel a lot of gratitude. Fantastic. Daisy, breathing. Beautiful. And then Valerie and everybody, did you see that we didn't try to intellectualize with Valerie about how to feel and the control and the judgment? The journey comes through awareness. The journey comes through feeling. The journey comes through connection with the truth. But we also didn't indulge with Valerie and your self-judgment and all of that. So it was like an awareness and a guide to connecting with the truth, and not telling Valerie what the truth, only Valerie could tell us what her truth was. So I just want, and that's the truth for every single one of you. The only one who knows your truth is you. And the only way to connect with the truth is through the awareness and through honoring yourself and through recognizing that every signal from your body is a gift. Every signal. Good, 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 good. See, perfection for being you. Exactly. Perfection for being you. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so does everybody feel good? I'm saying yes from the hearts. Is there anything else? Because I'm feeling pretty complete. Does anybody want or need or have a desire to say anything? I'm feeling pretty complete. Is everybody feeling complete? Is it just me? Is it just me? I think, see, takeaway, awareness and guiding self to discover truth. See, fantastic takeaway. Yes, and the truth exists within us, and the external distorts the truth, and the internal is where the truth exists, and the external is a gift to guiding you to the internal. So whatever you feel, it's fantastic. Whenever you feel, it's fantastic. Valerie, I feel good with today. Good. Gary, Manal, I went to Shinedown 3 days Grace concert a couple days ago to see if I could handle it. Loud. Wow. I feel good, but the next day I was overwhelmed. Why? Gary, because you overwhelmed your senses. What I'm hearing you say is the concert, there was probably a lot of people's energies. The music was really loud. And there was probably an overstimulation of the senses. And what did your overwhelming feel like? And what did you do to come back and ground again? That's my question for you. And do you think it was just from the music and the loudness of it? Or do you think it was also from the number of people and all of the energies? That's my questions. Those are my questions for you. Jessie, great Manal, the truth will set us free. The truth will set us free. Jessie, do you see how easy it is? And that body image is perceived as a big one, but it really isn't. And it's the same as everything else. It's just really recognizing, because the body is with us all the time, that we feel like it's bigger, but it's just the same. It's just another tool for getting us to align with ourselves internally? Jesse, that's for you. And Gary, tell me, do you think that it's the noise or do you think it's the other people? Because you might need and would value, since we're playing with energy today, is giving yourself, because I know that you see yourself as a HSP or what is that term? Highly sensitive person, which I don't like it. I'm going to calling it a super person, but a sensitive person. Do you do exercises to not allow people's energy to come into yours and to own your energy? That's another question that I ask you. Daisy, loving and empowered, confident in feeling negative emotions instead of shame for feeling. Daisy, marvelous. That is marvelously said. Marvelous. Loving and empowered, confident in feeling negative emotions instead of shame for feeling beautiful. And that's what the thesis is. It's honor every physical sensation, every emotion, every mental thought, every belief. And if it doesn't make you feel good, start to discover what it's meant for you to grow. It's your tool. They are tools for you. Jesse, through self-awareness, mapping out our truths through our emotional body, feeling, not numbness. Beautiful, Jesse. Beautiful. Beautiful. And it's very, what you said is very close to what Jay-Z just said. It's feeling yourself and honoring it, mapping our truths through our emotional body and realizing the body and the corporations and the government, the FDA and diet, it's just another tool for accessing our internal self. And we don't need to make it bigger than it is. Almost like what Valerie realized, ooh, this control's an illusion and it's all nothingness that we're living, that our body is part of that nothingness and that it's all an illusion and that we're giving this body more power than we need to over our internal self. And just realizing, oh, that same awareness that Valerie had about her control is actually true to everything. Oh, this is just nothingness. This is just an illusion. This is just a vibrational frequency that I have learned, and now I need to learn a new song and where did I learn it? From my ancestors, from society, from corporations, from school, from siblings, from social media. It doesn't really matter, and it's not to blame them. It's just sort of recognizing it's just that's the design of the earth and the universe, and I'm going to be empowered to take every signal that I get and learn and grow from it. Jesse, good, because that was a big question you asked. Gary, it was crazy, lots of people, but my mind the next day was making up all kinds of negative stories. Gary, you may be, lots of strange energy too. Gary, you might be taking on the energy of the people in the room. And one of my favorite exercises to do, I already started doing it before I start, is sort of imagining myself in a bubble. And again, it's a muscle. So you're not going to do it the day of the concert and it works. It's something that you got to reaffirm and start playing with it and playing with it and playing with it. But sort of imagine yourself in a bubble. And in this bubble, you ground yourself. So imagine again the light from the core of the earth. And you just imagine light sort of roots from your soles of your feet connecting to the earth and grounding you. And imagine this bubble, and you're grounded in this bubble, and you can imagine the universal divine also feeding this bubble. So there's two sources of energy from the top and the bottom in this large bubble. The bubble can be as big or small as you like, depending on where you are in the circumstances. And you imagine only positive energy comes into this bubble. And if there's anything negative, that energy comes in, bounces off, and neutralizes. So it comes off zero. So if it comes in negative, whatever it is, it just neutralizes. If it's for the higher good, that it goes back as love, that's good. But sometimes you don't want to give back love when you're getting something negative, but sometimes it's appropriate. So you can imagine, again, you're in this big bubble. There's two sources of energy from the core of the earth and universal divine. And this energy allows positive energy to come in, love, kindness, care, appreciation, whatever it might be, laughter, playfulness, that's for you, Mary Alice, whatever it might be. And then anything negative just bounces off and neutralizes. Practice that visualization a few moments in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. And then what will be interesting is in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, when you start going to these concerts, see what the impact of that is on you. That would be really interesting for you, Gary, because I think you do pick up a lot of energy, and that's where your mind the next day was making up all these negative stories and stuff. So it's almost like your if you want to imagine that your energetic boundary is absorbing all this stuff, and then you can build something that will filter a lot of it out. Gary, good? Does that make sense? Do you like that? Jen, maybe because we see our physical body visually, the other body is gang up to disempower the self rather than to look at the root of the feeling. Jen, yeah, there's some of that we don't empower the others. Actually, yes, it works on both sides. We're not looking at our emotional body, so we give our physical body more power. We're overpowering our mental with our physical, and there's not alignment in the 4 bodies. And the other bodies can be over or underpowered. Absolutely. Good observation. C, also, instead of negative emotions, I've been taught, took a long time to view them as uncomfortable emotions. See, yeah, I like that you don't need to call them as negative. I like to call them low vibration as well. So it's all vibration. And I don't even like to look at them emotions. I like to look at everything as waves and vibration. And that way I don't have to identify with it negatively. It really is about understanding that everything is a wave, and looking that I've picked up waves because of my conditioning, and honor the journey to amplify those waves. So I really love what you're saying, C, and I agree. What we don't want to do is identify and label and make things bad, which are just is. Good. Mary Alice, excellent. C, uncomfortable is easier. Thanks for the tip. Beautiful. Jesse, why not give all the negative love and send it out? The negatives love. Jesse, I was taught that sometimes that if you give it love, like if something's angry, it doesn't want love. So I've been taught, whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, let it in. And if it's for the higher good to be love, then good. If not, then neutralize. Because sometimes when somebody's in a low vibration, they don't want to get that high vibration. It's worse than just getting neutral. So that logic sort of went with me. So I just sort of put, if it's in the highest good, send out love. If not, just neutralize. But it could be wrong, but I received it from somebody and I went with that logic. So that's how I verbalize it. And then I do see that sometimes when I'm angry, you don't want somebody to just set love, compassion maybe, but there just might not be circumstances, and I just honored maybe there's circumstances where it's not the best. So that's where it comes from. But if you think it's good not to, just to say give love back, that's absolutely fine too. But I'm just sharing the distortion or the way that and then that logic went with me. Does that make sense, Jesse? Gary, I've been working on visualizing a lot lately, and I've actually been in touch with my spirit guides, if you can believe that. Fantastic, Gary. I think that would really benefit you a lot. See, but they're hard to tolerate and feel. So learning to be aware and feel has been a process, and learning instead to ask myself, what are these emotions telling me? What do I need to address in my life? Fantastic. And see, one of my things that I like to say, it's hard till it's not. So just let go of that label of hard as well, and just sort of honor that I'm learning to ride my bike. I'm learning to sing. I'm learning to brush my teeth. I'm learning to crawl. I'm learning to walk, and stop labeling it as hard or easy or whatever. It just is. And if we could just accept everything for just being is, I think the ease that we're having in life will just unfold with so much more ease and purposefulness. It's the judgment that we keep having on life and of life that's giving us so much resistance. But it's the question, what are these emotions telling me? How do I get empowered from all of these signals? What are these vibrations? And then we see them from 4 bodies. It's not just the emotional, it's the mental vibration, it's the physical vibration, it's the egoic vibration. So what are they saying to me, and how can I learn and grow from them? Fantastic, fantastic. Gary, I'm at HSP2. There are other lives on IT that teach practical tools for us. Fantastic, Mary Alice. Teresa, how to deal with emotions when it comes to the change of life for us women. Teresa, it's so interesting. I'm seeing so much right now with it, and I don't think it's any different So the other day, me and my son were at the grocery store and I was having a moment. And I said to him, can't you see I'm at the stage of life right now where women are going through a lot of hormonal changes, and just honor me or something, I said to him. All of you know my son and how adorable he is. He's like, Mom, can't you see I'm a puberty, I'm a boy going through puberty and I'm in the same thing. And we both just busted out laughing. We both couldn't stop. So the point is, every time, and Valerie sort of said it, our whole lives are met with change. So if we can sort of accept that, this is one point that I wanted us to get back to and we didn't. If we could sort of accept that change is actually a natural part, and instead of resisting change, we honor change, then dealing with emotions when it comes to the change of life for us women, Kendra is saying it, change is inevitable. But yes, there are changes that we're going through it all the time. But if we stop letting, Teresa, I don't know if you've heard me talk about resistance to resistance to resistance to resistance. So we've got change. But if we're resistant to the change, and the resistance to ourselves being resistance to the change, there's a lot of layers of resistance. So the first thing I'd say is get rid of the resistance. And there's a lot of times during today's live that I talked about removing the resistance. So right now, C said, but they're hard to tolerate. And so that was a resistance on resistance. So what I did is I started talking to C about removing that resistance. I didn't call it resistance to resistance, but ultimately everything that we did today with reframing how we think about emotions, and we call it vibration. And let's look at that. We're unconditionally worthy, but we want to be conditionally worthy. We're looking at all the resistance, and we let go of the resistance. And then it just becomes fact. So what's the fact? During different times of our lives, there's more change that allows us to evolve And sometimes the change has been prescribed to us as negative, but how can we see the change as empowering? How can we see every change? One of my favorite changes to talk about is toddlers, because we're so clear that toddlers are little babies becoming little adults that are trying to control their lives. And the less control you let them feel, the more they're going to act out. And really, there's a balance between letting them have a sense of control, but ultimately keeping them safe and loving them and adoring them. And there's no difference, Teresa, between that and what we're going through now. So yes, there's hormones that are going through our bodies. They were when we were puberty, they were when we were toddlers. They're learning more and more and more. But once you can be pragmatic about, my intention is to feel good during my transitions and not mark these transitions as being dark, painful, difficult, sleepless, sweaty. Like, how do you want to embrace the change? How do you want to frame the change that you're going through? I understand, but those that never been through it. Teresa, we lean on those that have been going through it. I'm leaning on my girlfriends and asking the questions. What's normal? What's not normal? What have you gone through? What have you learned? What don't you learn? How do you do it? How do I eat? What should I do? Educating and learning, but from a place of curiosity and embracing and excitement and love and self-understanding and compassion and care. Rather through resistance and resentment and fear and anger and victimhood and loss and suffering and struggle. So the first, Teresa, I would frame at, how do you want to approach the way that your life is transitioning right now? Teresa said IH. Let's see that. Jen, love that, Manal. I see changes as my teacher, the opportunity to learn and grow from all of my experiences. I'm aware of the conditioned response from the past, but now there's a curiosity and excitement, seeing it from a different perspective of allowing. Fantastic. And that's, Jen said a beautiful word, Teresa, is that we want to allow the changes. We want to allow the way that life is changing. And stop resisting it, but sort of be, and how do I make the most of every moment? How do I make the most of Manal today versus Manal yesterday? And not seeing the Manal that's aging every day being less of a whole Manal, but more of a whole Manal. I want to feel that every single day I can't be more whole, because once you're whole, but equally whole, equally worthy, equally free, if not more, because I'm growing into it. I'm allowing the change, but it's tough when the anxiety and fatigue kicks in. So then, Teresa, then what I would suggest to you, and we can have a live on this. I think it could be one. I don't know what the topic would be, but what there could be is an invitation for understanding. First of all, honoring the anxiety and fatigue. Not the anxiety as much, because anxiety is a fear that's unknown. So asking yourself what you're fearful of and what you're scared of, and it's likely change and aging, because it's clear from the way that you're asking. So I'm allowing the change. I want to get rid of the tough, and then honor all of the sensations that are coming in and invite a calibration to fullness and wholeness. Invite a calibration to truth. Invite what you expect is going to be what you live. So what is it that you expect about these changes that are going on in your life? That's a good question. What's the expect? And everybody answer that. What is it that you expect about what you're transitioning into? That's a question for everybody. Jesse, I always try to send love out no matter what the circumstances of others, bad or indifferent, as it shifts those negative vibrations. It creates change, the world I want to see. Jesse, I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. And in this circumstance, just so I can make sure that my intention is clear with that bubble, it's let positive in and let negative bounce back, and whatever is the highest good for that to go back as. So if it's go back as neutral, as it's go back as positive or self-love or compassion. But I agree with you that ultimately, I wrote this down during a walk today. What was it? It's the withdrawing of love that's leading to the destruction of life. Because I learn to withdraw love as a coping mechanism to dealing with sadness or anger or lack of self-worth. When I withdraw love, I hurt myself, and then I don't give it back to the world. And ultimately, it's this whole withdrawal of love that is the root cause of every illness, every pain, everything that we're talking about. Everything that we're talking about. So I fully agree with you, Jesse. I couldn't agree with you less. I can't agree with you more. Is that the right way to say it? Teresa, I expect love and support instead of the SA. What's the SA, Gary? I'm getting that, but that's the others expect you to bounce back like nothing. Okay, Teresa, let's filter out the others for a second. What do you want to give you, and how do you want to feel? That's my question to you. Gary, Manal, you know that my goal has always been to get rid of my resistance and become whole more so every day. Fantastic. And if that's what we see ourselves as growing and expanding and growing and expanding and growing and expanding and growing and expanding, that's the vision that we want to see. Okay. So Teresa says, and I love this, I want to feel like me again. So everybody, let's take a moment to feel what me is. Okay. I want everybody to take a deep breath in and ground yourself. Connect with me. And now, what does that feel like? Put it in the window. Everybody, what does me feel like? What does me feel like? Jesse, love is the ultimate infinite resource of healing and why we're here on this planet. Jesse, I agree. So Jesse, when you connected with yourself, with me now, what did you feel? Did you feel infinite love? I agree with you fully, Jesse. And I always did feel, when I think of it as negative, that it's compassion back. So I fully agree with you. So Valerie felt creative and compassionate. Fantastic. Fantastic. So creative and compassionate. What else? Jen, being me brings to a smile to my face, an inner peace and contentment within. Beautiful. Jessie, I'm going to say that when you felt into me, you felt you, like me as in you. Unconditional love. What is it that you felt like? Teresa, what is it that you felt like? What does me feel like? Spirituality, I am there. Physically, mentally is hard. Jen, I smiled. Fantastic. So Teresa, what I want you to do is recognize there's resistance on the physical and the mental. Is there resistance on the emotional too, Teresa? I think there is on the others. So spiritually, I'm there. Physically, mentally, and emotional is hard. So Teresa, can we reframe that? Okay. And every week we talk about the same things in different ways. So we'll muscle it together. Sometimes we can't shift, although we can shift like this, but sometimes we don't. We just got to honor the process. But what I want you to recognize is that I'm a human on this human journey, and change is a natural, amazing, this is for you, Valerie, too, expected part of this human journey. We've been taught distortions along the way. And one of those distortions is that we can control what we can't control. And I'm having an amazing time to recalibrate to truth. And that means recalibrating to me, which is an allowing, an alignment of my spiritual, my mental, my emotional, my physical bodies. And when I know when I'm in alignment is when I feel good, when I'm in flow, when I'm accepting, when I'm self-loving. And I am going to continue to enjoy the journey and the experience that life is presenting me, so I can build my muscles of unconditional worthiness, love, and freedom. I'm going to enjoy all the experiences with a recognition that it's guiding me to internal alignment. Every external experience guides me to the internal truth of me. And one of that is the changes that women go through in the mid years of their life. And I am going to turn around and get rid of all of those stories that expect me to be miserable and out of control during that phase. And I am going to find a way to embrace life fully and to find alignment with my four bodies, because I know it's possible. And I have the skill sets and the focus to allow it to be possible. How's that feel, Teresa? How does that feel? Jessie, yes, it's unconditional love, the absolute greatest gift to give and receive, especially to ourselves. Love it, Jessie. Gary, I need to do something with a bunch of lingering fear and doubt before I feel like me. But with all of you guys, help me, I will get there. Fantastic, Gary, fantastic. Teresa, that feels great. Baby steps, exactly. Let's enjoy the journey. Let's enjoy the journey. Let's become aware together. Let's ask the questions together. Let's get vulnerable together. Let's become aware together, and let's grow together. And recognize that we can't wake up and be where we want to immediately. It's a journey. I can't wake up today, say I'm going to California on a road trip, and be there in a minute. Or after an hour and 44 minutes and 16 seconds. I'm not going to get to California. It's going to be a certain distance, time that will get me to California. So let's get to utopia together. Let's get to worthiness and freedom and love together. Let's get to unconditional together. And enjoy the journey towards it. And it's a lifelong journey. Jesse, Manal, think about this. I can feel the love from what you've generated here with us in your lives. Jesse, thank you. I just want us to feel good. And part of the reason we don't feel good is the judgment and expectation that we shouldn't. And if we let go of that judgment and expectation and just accept how we feel, we'll remove an intense amount that is keeping us from aligning with the truth of who we are, and we'll feel good. Jesse, thank you. Can anybody else feel it? Yes, Jesse, you're so right. Valerie said yes too. Fantastic, fantastic. So, is everybody feeling complete? Does everybody feel like you have the tools to be empowered, to take control? And I put the word control in quotes. Control of your focus, not of external. Control of what you look at and what you're aware of. I think control is a bad word, but I'm using it in the right way, so I hope that you like it. Yes, 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 Mary Alice. And later in the week, it's magic to her voice in our heads, coaching us to empowerment. Oh, Mary Alice, thank you. Lynn, yes, more and more and more. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So let's make a commitment to each other. Let's make a commitment to honor our humanness. Let's make a commitment to honor the journey. Let's make a commitment to enjoy the ride. Let's make a commitment, this is for you, Mary Alice, to be playful, to have fun, to be creative. That's for you, Valerie. To flow, to allow, to accept, to enjoy, to love the ride. Let's make a commitment to keep coming back. And back is to whatever you want it to be, but back to growing, to expanding, to learning, to loving, to accepting, to allowing, to flowing, and to recognize our muscles will continue to develop and develop and develop, and skills that will continue to develop and develop and develop, and we'll do it together with fun. Who wants to make that commitment? Jesse, I have a question. Is there anything higher than love? I think they're all synonyms. Wait, I'll tell you what's higher than love. Bliss could be higher than love. I would say bliss. I'd say bliss. How does that feel? Euphoria, Jenna, that's good too. Mary Alice, fear is awful, Teresa, but maybe you're right. Might listen to the fear and reach for slightly less fear. Don't try to jump too far too fast. Mary Alice, fantastic. Exactly. Climb the ladder. Climb the ladder. Climb the ladder. Just keep climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good, good, good. Oh my goodness, I'm laughing. Okay, so I feel like everybody feels good. And I feel Teresa. Okay, this is what I'm going to say to you, Teresa. Teresa, you're feeling overwhelmed because you feel like you need to get from here to there in a moment. You don't. We're going to get there together. And you're going to get there. So just enjoy the journey. Just enjoy the journey. There we go. Just enjoy the journey. Gary says, I think love has the highest vibration. Gary, it's absolutely an honor to be on this journey with you all, and I'm so grateful for you. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to ask again. Does everybody feel better now than when you entered? Does everybody feel more empowered? That you have the tools, the capacity, you have the capability. Valerie, yes, I'm so happy to see your yes, Valerie. Fantastic. I see the hearts coming on. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, 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 Marielle. As always, Manal, Jesse, yes, Valerie, yes, 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 yes. Gary, did you sing? No, I didn't sing, but maybe I will next week. So this month I've been doing themed months, and every content that I produce is on this theme, is on the theme. So I started off with anxiety in April. What month are we in? We're in May. In March, and then it was what makes us feel bad. So a lot of traumatic things and grief last month. And this month, it's all about body. So today, body image. Next week, I think we're talking about food. I think we're also talking about exercise and bad habits. I don't remember exactly what the order is, and I didn't write it down. I didn't bring it with me, but it's next Tuesday. I've been doing them Tuesday at 1:30, and I'll keep with that for a bit, and then we'll see what happens. But the next 4 Tuesdays, I have them at this time. So Jen says, super empowering Tuesdays. Love it. Fantastic. So do I. You are all absolutely amazing and brilliant. You all inspire me to more. And when I say more, it's that growth and that's expansion and that learning and that loving and just really being accepting and allowing of my humanness to grow into that fulfilled, whole, happy person that we all are. The me that Teresa's saying, I just want to be me. That me is that truth of our worthiness, our freedom, and our love. And what we're going to do is we're going to let go of distortions that society has given us that makes us believe that life is going to be anything other than what we want it to be, which is beautiful, which is celebratory, which is fun, which is growing, which is expanding. And we're going to keep finding places where we may have believed something other than the truth of our self-empowerment and rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until together we've got this vision of truth and alignment with ourselves, with who we are, with me. Beautiful. Marielle, I love knowing that they count the hearts we give. Let's pile them up, people. I do love them too, Marielle. I love it. Love it. See, yay, just discovered you. I'll have to come back. See, yes, I'll love that. Oh, Valerie, crying for sure, not as much as laughing though. I've had a few good laughs today. I don't know if everybody laughed with some of my silly stuff. Mariella, see, like fine wine, she gets better with time. We do get better with time, don't we? Jen, our jokes. I know we need you, Gary. Yes, we haven't done jokes in a while. We'll do jokes soon. Fantastic, fantastic, Teresa. You ando. I don't know what you ando means, but it will come back in a second what you mean, Teresa. And others have made me smile today. Okay, good. Fantastic. Good. Fantastic. Okay, I love you all. You are all absolutely brilliant. We are going to keep growing and learning and growing and expanding and growing and learning and loving and accepting and growing and learning and living and playing and being and I-aming and inspiring and enjoying and laughing and loving. Jesse, thank you to Mabel and everybody. I think she means Manal. So on that note, I'm going to say to you guys, I love you all. I love you all, including that beautiful Mabel. Jesse says Manal. Who's Mabel? I love you all, and I can't wait to see you. Join Attain the Authentic Life. If you're not on there, keep laughing, says Teresa. Keep laughing. Join Attain Your Authentic Life. It's a group where we keep talking after hours, although we've been pretty quiet lately. And follow me if you don't, and let's keep playing and growing. I love you all. All this Mabel talk. Okay, you guys, I love you. Bye. That was amazing. Can you see how your body is a conduit to your self-growth? You want to keep growing? Go to my website, www.mattain.me/anxiety. Sign up for a mini course, 10 steps to letting go of anxiety. Hope to see you there. My love, always.